kids, I hope you're enjoying life in apocalyptic clown world, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about all the different thoughts and ideas and critiques I have had of the American school system, about all the ways that it is counterproductive. First of all, I have to acknowledge that I'm privileged American swine. I live in a nice, suburban, upper middle class neighborhood, people got golden retrievers and shit, and I have access to pretty great education compared to where I could be in the world, so I gotta be grateful. But that doesn't mean the system doesn't have its fair share of flaws. We consistently rank as, 16th, 17th, 20th in world education rankings. Why is that? I'm going to tell you, young blood. Many education reformers, people who want to change the American school system, like to say that the reason for all their gripes about it is because school is kind of based off of industrial era. It's a factory model of education, which is a statement that is not really based in fact at all. But that doesn't mean that there aren't factory-like aspects of school. And it also does not invalidate the critiques that people like me have about school. So a lot of people get the origin of the problem wrong, but that does not mean that there's not a problem there. We are regularly bored and disengaged in the classroom. We memorize meaningless factoids that only make a shallow imprint on our brains, and we just forget entirely after the big exam. And we don't often have a chance to go down more of a personalized path in schooling where we can choose our interest and pursue our passions. Upon that, at least in New York State, we have long school day. We have an unrealistically early start. We have no breaks, and we have to sit in a desk all day and be expected to just sit there and behave and be quiet and do worksheets all day, and it's really mind-numbing.
Teens have a biological inability to wake up before 8 a.m. Teens do not begin to feel sleepy until about 10:45 p.m. Do not naturally awaken before 8 a.m. Sleep-deprived teens more likely to use drugs. Shifting the school day later results in a boost in attendance, test scores, and grades. Chance of depression for teens rises with less than 9 hours of sleep. Car crashes decline when teens obtain more than 8 hours of sleep per night.
My middle school starts at 7:35 a.m. That's middle school. That means we got 6th graders in there. Those are 10 or 11-year-olds that gotta wake up at 6 to have enough time to get ready and catch the bus. 10 to 11-year-olds, they need 10 to 11 hours of sleep, even maybe more. That means they gotta go to bed at 7 or 8 p.m. to get enough sleep. Now, it's probably hard enough for 11-year-olds as is to fall asleep at fucking 7 or 8 p.m. But for adolescents, our sleep cycles are totally fucked up. Several studies have shown that we really don't start falling asleep until 10 or 11 p.m. and we really don't start waking up naturally until later into the morning. Now that makes things pretty hard for us because most kids aren't getting 8 hours of sleep, not even 8 hours of sleep. They're getting less than that because they do their sports shit, they have all this extracurricular, they don't go to sleep until 11 p.m. and then they gotta wake up at 6 a.m. That's not fucking healthy. Not only does that make things hard, but also adolescent brains don't really work early in the morning. Our brains are not really functioning properly until like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m., which means you're going to all your fucking core classes in the morning and your brain isn't even on. Oh great, that's amazing, that sounds wonderful. Wow, I'm so excited for my later high school years. I'm sure it's great for our health. It seems pretty good for our health. And then on top of that sleep deprivation, at least in New York State, we have no breaks during the school day. Except for lunch, which is just 30 minutes of eating. The rest of the 6.5 hour, 7-hour day is just straight up doing worksheets, having classes, no rest. But a lot of people would actually disagree with my stance that there should be some kind of reform on this, that school should be pushed to put a later starting time. People would disagree with my stance on this, mainly adults and older people that think we're snowflakes for complaining about this shit. We're little snowflakes. When I was your age, kid, I had to keep my grades up, and I was the captain of the football team. My dad beat me over the head when he was like, boy, I have to pay taxes for your ass to go to school. If you ever complain to me, I'm gonna beat you over the head with a fucking stool. Look, your brain trauma thing sounds great. It sounds amazing that you suffered so much, but kids nowadays don't really have to go through as much shit as you did to be a strong and independent person, an upstanding member of society. And a lot of studies back up the information that I've been talking about, and it's not like the schools aren't aware, it's just that it's a little bit too cumbersome, and it's a little bit too much of a hassle to actually do any educational reform. Now, because of these mind-numbing conditions, I would say the system is kind of ideal for pushing out people that are kind of just going to be able to sit there and kind of die. But I don't know if you notice, there's been a bit of a culture shift. Companies aren't looking for that kind of worker anymore. Companies, the big, hip companies, Silicon Valley tech startups, they want those new creative thinkers. They want the next generation of young, innovative thinkers with the next biggest idea. You know, the creatives. Ooh, the kid that has the idea for the next social network that can steal everybody's private info and sell them to various shady companies across America. You know, another thing that I really love about the American school system? The authority figures, the principals and shit, the administration. I really love the fact that principals walk around like cops, yell at any kid who's actually having fun in school. I love how they speak to us like we're 5-year-olds and we don't know anything about the world. I love how they step out of line a lot and give people crazy punishments for doing nothing because they're just power tripping the fuck out. I love how they walk around like police officers because police officers are great too.
The government is just trying to make us all into mindless drones that are going to be ideal for when AI takes over and they can do mind control voodoo and make us all mass produce high-powered bidets.